Well, this show is inspired by nature and the outdoors, and this whole show is dedicated to my dad, who recently passed in December 2025, and I'm dedicating the show to him because he's the one that really got me to love nature. Well, what really got me into macrame is I was in one of my favorite places in the world, Ojai, California. I was in the shop. It was called Cattywampus, and it was a yarn shop. It had crafts, it had handmade items, and I saw all this beautiful macrame hung. They had light fixtures made out of macrame cord, and they did all the knots and stuff. And I just fell in love with it. I was like, this is so cool. And then the same time I'm thinking about all this, they had a sign that said, this woman, Sally England, is teaching a macrame plant hanging class. So I took one of her classes, I fell in love with it, and I just wanted to keep doing more and more. Macrame is more like of just all the different knots and the ropes. And then I do the macraweave. I like to weave yarn into my macrame because it just makes it so colorful and the textures are different and fun, and that's what I love about it. Like right here, this piece, this is more macrame because it has the different knots, and it's just like the cord. This is weaving it in, so this is the macrame part. This is the knot that I made for the mountains, and it's called the double half hitch knot. And then I weave in all my yarn for the sunrise. And then the flowers are all macrame flowers. I use all knots for the flowers, so that would be macrame. And then the grass, I weaved. So that's kind of the difference. And same with the plant hangers, I weaved my yarn in because I wanted it to have more color. I didn't want it to just be white. So I weaved in some yarn. This is all macrame. You know, this whole show is really about, nature, color, outdoors. That's what inspires all this. I didn't like going on all these hikes. I didn't like, being out in the desert all day. I was always complaining when I was little, and I love it now. Like, that is all I want to do. I want to be outside. I want to enjoy the flowers. I'm mostly into like the flowers. I love walking on the beach. The beach is one of my favorite places, and there's tons of driftwood on the beach. And so usually I find a really unique, interesting piece of driftwood and I'll collect it. My kids even, find me some. They'll come home with daddy and say, Mommy, I found you this driftwood. And it's always such a cool piece because they know that that's what I'm always looking for. So if my kids bring me a piece, or friends, or I will find a piece, and I always think about using it for a macrame piece that I want to do. And so like this I found probably on Bishop's. I wanted it to be a beach theme. And so that's how I decided to use the driftwood for this one. And then for this, I also used some driftwood and some shells just to make it more beachy, and that's kind of what I think about when I incorporate other objects and mixed media into it. I think about where I was and what would make it more texturally satisfying. I don't know. It just kind of comes to me as I work on it. And especially now that, there's a lot going on in the world that really is depressing for me, and it's hard for me to deal with. But when I look around at all the beauty there is in the world, it's the nature and the smell of the flowers and the colors of the world that's what makes me happy. So is what my show is about.